Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm feeling very cozy and bundled up today because it's officially winter where I live. It is so cold and I just got back from vacation from Mexico, and I feel like as soon as I got home, my skin was loving the humidity in Mexico, and now that I'm back in the dry, cold climate where I live, my skin is like freaking out. It's getting so dry. So I thought I would sit down and film a cozy kind of winter makeup routine. I gathered all of my favorite hydrating products, and I'm going to be showing you how I like to use them during the winter months when my skin feels a little bit dry. As the weather gets cooler, my makeup routine does change. I feel like I don't like to wear too much, and I don't want it to be too complicated as well as too drying on the skin. I don't want it to feel heavy on the skin, so that's what we're going to be doing today. Before we get into the makeup look, I'm so excited because my favorite body care brand is partnering with me on this video. I actually showered before this video and I used their amazing products, which are so incredible all year round, but especially in the winter time for exfoliating and for hydrating. So I'm going to share with you guys this amazing set from Frank Body. Now, I've talked about Frank Body several times on my channel. This is a brand that I've used for years now. They make the best body scrubs ever. I'm seriously never without a coffee scrub from Frank Body. So this is called the Out of Towners kit, which comes with this really cute drawstring reusable bag. And inside you get 4 mini Frank Body coffee scrubs. They have different scents. My personal favorite would have to be the cacao coffee scrub. This smells so good. If you're somebody who likes the smell of dark chocolate cake, you're gonna love that. But it also comes with the peppermint coffee scrub, which smells like a thin mint. The original, which is always a classic and a staple in my routine. And then we also have the coconut coffee scrub. So I actually took all 4 of these to Mexico in this little drawstring bag, and I absolutely loved how travel friendly this was. So if you're somebody who's never tried Frank Body, you definitely should. And this Out of Towner set is the perfect way to try all the different flavors. And with the holidays coming up, if you want to gift these, this is a great thing to pick up because you can split them up between 4 friends, or you can keep 2 for yourself and gift 2, you know what I mean? So in order to use the scrubs, all you have to do is make sure that your skin is damp, and then you take a handful of the coffee scrub in whatever flavor you would like, and you start to massage it onto the skin. It feels so amazing, and it really is a great exfoliator if you have dry skin, especially during the winter time. That's how my entire body is. And then you let it sit for about 3 minutes. Sometimes I'll leave it on for 3 to 5 minutes. And then after the scrub has sat on the skin for a few minutes, I go ahead and rinse everything off. Also, it leaves behind the most amazing hydrated feeling on the skin. It is so fabulous. I love this stuff. I feel like I don't even have to put on body lotion after I use these scrubs. So yeah, if you guys want to check out the Frank Body Out of Towner set, I will have it linked down below. They have so many other amazing products as well, so you guys can go ahead and check out their website. Their products really do work. I love these scrubs, and they are perfect for the winter time. Now that the skin on my body feels hydrated and exfoliated, we're gonna go ahead and hydrate the face as we prep for makeup. So let's just get right into that. So earlier today, I actually did use an exfoliating cleanser. I already did my skincare, but it's been a few hours, so I'm gonna add a little bit more skincare things. I actually just received this in the mail like 30 minutes ago. I ordered it during the Sephora VIB sale. This is the Youth to the People Adaptogen Soothe and Hydrate Activated Mist. This has reishi, pentapeptide, ashwagandha, and hyaluronic acid. Basically, you'll see a theme within all the products that I chose today. I basically found everything that has hyaluronic acid in it because that is a life-saving ingredient for dry skin. Hyaluronic acid attracts moisture to the skin, which is very important during the dry, cold months. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this out. Ooh, the mist seems nice on this. Doesn't have much of a smell to it, which I'm not complaining about. I actually like when skincare products don't have fragrances. That felt really, really nice. Obviously, this is my first time trying it, so I will let you guys know how I end up liking it as I continue to use it. I'm going to apply a little bit more of my absolute favorite emergency cream for when my face is super dry or anywhere on the body. This is the First Day Beauty Ultra Repair Cream, and I'm gonna use this on the sides of my nose, which are pretty dry right now. I had like a really bad runny nose the other day. Is that TMI? Anyways, I didn't have lotion tissues, which are a definite go-to for me usually, because if I don't use tissues with aloe or lotion in them, my nose gets dry so fast, which is what happens. So I'm just gonna kind of add a little bit of extra moisture to the dry areas today. We're gonna go ahead and prime the skin with a hydrating primer. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Primer. I recently picked this up at Sephora, and I have been obsessed obsessed with it. I did about 2 pumps, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply this all over the skin to prep it for foundation. I love the texture that this gives the skin. It's super lightweight, but you feel the hydration, and it's not hydrating in an oily way, which is definitely something that I look for because I have combination skin, so I do get a little oily in the T-zone, but then I get dry patches, especially when it's freezing outside. So this is a really great product. Even if you do have a bit of oil in the skin, it doesn't feel greasy and it never looks greasy by the end of the day, no matter what foundation I'm wearing on top of it. So I've been really obsessed with that. So I have 2 foundations. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna use. When it comes to makeup in the winter time, there's obviously certain occasions where I'll wear a little bit more of a full coverage foundation. But when you're outside especially, or if your heater's on indoors, I feel like it's really nice to have a bit more of a fresh complexion, something that has a little bit more of a lightweight feel and something that's going to be hydrating. So I have 2 products that came to mind, both at different price points. This one is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. You'll see the theme again with the hyaluronic acid in this. And then this is like a holy grail for me. This is something I've used for years. It's the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream. Both of them offer a light coverage. They both wear really well throughout the day. I love them both. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use today. Would it be bad to mix both? I might mix them. Obviously, I know that's a little extra, and I'm not trying to be too extra in this tutorial, but I truly can't decide. So that's what I'm gonna do. I did 1 pump of the ColourPop and then 1 little dollop of the Bare Minerals. I'm gonna give this a good mix. And my shade for reference is Fair 4N in the ColourPop one, and then Vanilla 02 in the Bare Minerals one. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to the face. I just put a little bit on the face, and then I'm gonna take some more on my sponge. This sponge is from EcoTools. I feel like when my skin is dry, or if I have dry patches, applying the tinted moisturizer with the sponge really helps, because sometimes if I use a brush and I'm using like a buffing motion, it can kind of emphasize the texture. So if I'm specifically trying to do something hydrating, and if I'm struggling with dry patches, a sponge usually does the trick. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this all over the face. And you'll notice how it's like evening out the skin tone, but it's not super heavy. It's not super full coverage. And if you're someone like me and you have active breakouts, I've really learned, and it takes practice sometimes, but I've learned to use lighter coverage in moments like these and then just spot conceal. The end result is really, really nice, and you don't feel like you have tons of makeup on, but you still get great coverage. So that's what I typically like to do. I'm gonna take a bit more of the ColourPop Tinted Moisturizer, and I'm just gonna take that on the same sponge. And I am gonna try to build up a bit more coverage on the cheeks, just because for me, I get a bit of redness there. If you feel like you already have really great skin, you could totally just do a moisturizer and then go in and conceal the under eye area. This routine is honestly very customizable depending on what you're looking for and also what you're working with. So just keep that in mind as I go through the tutorial, and feel free to add more coverage if you feel like you need more coverage, or you can also do the opposite and not add as much coverage if you feel like you have pretty good skin. I'm just gonna take a little bit of what's left and kind of pat that onto the eyelids to conceal. Okay, so things are looking pretty good right now. I feel nice and fresh and hydrated. So we're gonna go into concealer next. I've been kind of moving back into using this concealer. It's the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, which is not new to the market by any means. I know a lot of you probably already have tried this or you've heard a lot about it. The reason why I've been reaching back into this is because it offers really great coverage, but it's not drying and it's not so hydrating that it creases. It's just like a perfect in between, and it's been a go-to for me for cooler months. So this is what I'm wanting to use today. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some of this underneath the eye area. I'm also gonna put some down the center of the face just to kind of brighten things up. I like to put a little bit around the nose, especially since it's a little bit dry and there's some redness, and then down the center of the nose. Something I wanted to point out is if you're sick or you have a cold, try not to put too much product around the nose, because if you're blowing your nose and you wipe off the foundation, it's going to be more obvious if you have more coverage there, if that makes sense. So try to go a little bit lighter if you are sick or if you have a cold. It's just something to note. I've learned that the hard way from experience. So I'm just going to take the same sponge and press and blend concealer out all over the face. I love this concealer. It really does just smooth everything out, and it doesn't cling to dry patches, which is so nice. I'm gonna kind of do the same thing and take what's left on the sponge and just press that on the eyelid to conceal any discoloration there. So in the wintertime, powder is something that can really make your face feel heavy and dry. So I've recently kind of rediscovered a powder that is really amazing. It has hyaluronic acid in it. It's actually called Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. It's from the brand By Terry. I have the original, and then I also have the Rosy Light shade, which is like a light pink. Now, this powder is not the cheapest. It's definitely more on the pricey side. Thrive Causemetics has a powder that also contains hyaluronic acid. It's a little bit of a thicker formula, so if you're someone who wants to feel like you're not wearing any powder on the face, I would recommend going with something more like this. But if you are more on the oily side, but you still want a little bit of hydration in the winter, the Thrive Causemetics powder would be perfect. They do sell these in smaller sizes, so if you're wanting to try it out, you could do it that way. But I'm gonna go ahead and use this on the face today. I'm just gonna be using the original one. It's the most interesting texture, and it's so finely milled. It actually is a little bit difficult to get the hang of at first, but once you do, it's absolutely amazing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take some of this powder, and I'm gonna use pressing motions underneath the eye, and I'm gonna start locking in the concealer. If you're used to setting your face with powder, when you first try this formula, it might feel really strange because it almost feels like it's not doing much, but it is, I promise. It's kind of crazy because like you can't really see it on the skin and you can't really feel it either, which is what makes it so perfect for drier months. Or if you're somebody who has fine lines around the eyes and you struggle finding a way to set your concealer without it looking cakey or heavy, this is a great powder for that. I'm gonna take a bit of a fluffier brush, and I'm gonna take the same powder and just press this into the skin on the rest of the face. You don't have to do this, but I like to set the coverage on the cheeks since that's where I have the most redness usually. I have little pieces of glitter all over my face. That's what happens when you wear glitter on the eyes every day. Okay, so my face is completely set. I'm gonna go ahead and warm up the complexion. All that powder is flying everywhere. This has been like my favorite bronzer. Actually, it might be my absolute favorite right now. This is from Milani. It's the Silky Matte Bronzer, and I have mine in the shade Sunlight 01. I'm gonna go ahead and take this on a fluffy brush. I've really been enjoying this one from Juno & Co. I don't know what it's called, but it looks like this. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start buffing this onto the cheeks just to warm up the complexion a little bit. If you're somebody who likes to use all cream products in the wintertime, you could totally use a cream bronzer with this step. You would just wanna make sure to apply all of your creams before a powder. In most cases, there are some products that do work well over top of powders, and I actually have a couple that I'm gonna share with you today. Oh my gosh, I just love the color of this bronzer. I think it's so perfect for my skin tone, and the formula just blends itself out. It's beautiful. I always like to take the brush that I used with the powder and just kind of buff over everything to make sure there's no harsh lines. All right, let's go ahead and fill in the brows before I go crazy. I'm gonna use this right here. This is the Causemetics Fine Liner Pencil, and this is in the shade Brunette. I'm just gonna go ahead and brush up the brows first and then fill them in using this pencil. Okay, so brows are on. I love this pencil. I feel like it makes the brows look so naturally fluffy. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do blush and highlighter. And when I was thinking about blushes, I wanted to use a cream blush because again, I feel like that not only adds the feeling of a hydrated face, but it also gives your skin the effect of being really hydrated and glowy. So I knew I wanted to use an Honest Beauty cream blush. I normally use Rose Pink. I love this shade, but Honest Beauty sent me all of their shades and I hadn't tried this one. It looks very intimidating in the pan, but I swatched it earlier and it might be kind of fun for winter. This is called Plumberry, so I might go with this one. I don't know, I'm kind of like panicking, but we're just gonna try it. So I'm gonna take this deep color. I don't know, I feel like it's gonna be really nice for kind of like that wintry glow. I'm gonna take the bottom of my sponge and I'm just gonna dip this into the blush lightly. And I'm just gonna smile and start to stamp this onto both cheeks. Okay, it's not as intimidating as I thought it was gonna be. Oh, that's nice. I do feel like that kind of gives a frosted look, you know? Like a baby it's cold outside kind of a cheek. I'm gonna take a little bit and just kind of pounce it on the center of the nose, just what's left on the sponge. Oh my gosh, I really like this. Oh, I'm so happy I used that. It was definitely way more intimidating in the pan than it is on the skin. I think that makes my skin look really fresh. I really like that. So for highlighter, you guys, this, oh my gosh, I have like re-fallen in love with this. This is from Neutrogena. It's the Hydro Boost Illuminator, and this has hyaluronic acid in it. It's a stick highlighter and it is so good. I'm gonna take the other side of my sponge and I'm just gonna go ahead and get some product on it. And then I just like to use the sponge to press this onto the cheeks. And I'm just using a gentle light pressing motion to apply this. I don't want to remove any of the makeup underneath, so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of build it instead of wiping. I just like to press it onto the skin. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. It looks like you can in the monitor. I love this so much, and again, since it has hyaluronic acid in it, it's going to bring like a hydrated glow. It's not sparkly in any way, and also if you do have texture like I tend to, especially during the winter, it's not going to emphasize it. It's actually going to hydrate the texture, which is really nice. And the fact that it's from the drugstore makes it that much better, but even if it wasn't, I would still recommend it to you guys because it's just the most gorgeous stick highlighter. I love how glowy it makes my skin look. I like to take a little bit and put it on the apples of my cheeks right here. And I'm also going to take a bit and just lightly press this down the center of the nose and a bit on the cupid's bow. Look at that. We're hydrated. Oh my gosh, I love it. I feel like I've said this before in a video, but I feel like I'm kind of opposite of what is marketed during the seasons when it comes to like makeup looks. I feel like for some reason in the summer months, everybody goes for tinted moisturizers, and I get that because like it's hot outside, but I'm kind of the opposite. Like I reach for more mattifying products and a little bit more of a fuller coverage sometimes in summer, and then in the winter time, that's where I load up on the tinted moisturizer, and I like hydrating products. Is anybody else like that? I kind of like hydrating products all year round these days, but I definitely feel like I wear less in the winter than I do in the summer. And I definitely wear the most in the fall. Are you guys similar? Let me know. At this point, you could literally just pop on mascara and do a lip balm, and it would be a great everyday winter look. I'm just gonna amp it up a little bit because I'm just feeling extra in my abominable snowman sweater today. I'm obsessed with the sweater, you guys. If it's still available, I will link it down below. It is so soft. I feel so cozy and cute in it, so I'll link it for you if you are interested. For the eyes, let's see here. I'm gonna take a little bit more of my Milani bronzer. I'm just gonna kind of shape out my crease a little bit with just a bit of bronzer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this in the crease and then blend it up a little bit as a transition shade. Also, I'm gonna take a little bit underneath the lower lash line just for some added definition. So I recently was going through my makeup for Mexico when I was packing my makeup, and I brought this with me. It's the Kylie Cosmetics Shimmer Eye Glaze in the shade Deep Sea Dreams. It's actually from her summer collection, but I hadn't used it. So I brought it and I wore it, and it's so beautiful, and I feel like it actually works well for winter as well. I don't know, I'm kind of into these soft pinks. You guys probably already know that, it's nothing new, but I thought this would be absolutely beautiful to kind of pop on the eyelid if you wanted to amp up this wintry hydrated look, you know? So I'm gonna take a bit of that on my finger, and I'm just gonna go ahead and carefully press this onto the eyelid. It's such a beautiful iridescent shade. It has pink and blue and purple in there, and I just feel like it looks like a winter wonderland on my eyes. I'm loving that. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that same shade to the other eye, and I'm just building it up in layers until I get the intensity that I want. Okay, I really like how that looks. I'm keeping most of the intensity on the inner portion, and then I am dragging some along the rest of the lid, but I'm kind of fading it lightly, so there's not as much on the edge, but so that we still have shimmer all over the eyes. I might amp it up just a little bit. I know this is really sparkly still, but I love even more. I'm going to take a Bodyography pressed glitter pigment, and this is in the shade Stratus. It's just a beautiful light pink, and I feel like it will add to this winter wonderland kind of a look, you know? I'm just going to take a little bit of that on my finger, and I'm going to layer it up in the inner corner, and then take what's left and kind of press it along the rest of the eyelid. Okay, I think that's so pretty and soft and easy. Didn't take any time at all. I'm going to take a little bit more of the Milani bronzer and just kind of deepen up the crease. I'm going to add a little bit more along the lower lash line as well. All right, let's pop on mascara. I actually just bought this mascara during the Sephora sale as well. It's from It Cosmetics. It's the Superhero Mascara. I went to Mexico with my friends. They're actually YouTubers as well. I'll have their channels down below. Their names are Bonnie and Ellie, and they're some of my favorite people ever. They are very into makeup just like I am, so we had the best time like getting ready together in Mexico. And both of them raved about this mascara. So I bought it actually while we were on the trip after hearing them both talk about it, and I'm super excited to try it on. So let's go ahead and pop on the mascara. Ooh, Wow, this is building up really nicely, which is something that I definitely look for in a mascara. Okay, wow, I'm really liking how that looks. I just did the top mascara, or top lash mascara. I'm gonna go ahead and pop a little bit on the lower lash line. Before I forget though, I wanted to use the Thrive Causemetics Brilliant Eye Brightener. This is in the shade Stella. It's just like a really nice eye crayon. And instead of using powder eyeshadow in the inner corner, I thought a cream would be nice, just so that my eyes don't feel too dry. So I'm just going to apply that right there. And I'm also going to run it along the waterline to kind of brighten up the eyes. And I'm going to also apply it right underneath the brows just to highlight that. I'm going to use my finger to kind of blend that out. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of mascara to the lower lashes. Okay, so based off my first impressions, I really do like how the mascara looks. I liked how it applied. Obviously, we're gonna have to check and see if it smudges or flakes. I will leave a note down below in the description box letting you know if it smudged on me. But I really like how flirty my lashes look. I really like what that did. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe off any foundation that got on the lips. And I have two lip colors that I couldn't choose between. Obviously, like I said before, if you want more of a chill lip look, just go ahead and use like a lip balm. I'm obsessed with these right here from Laneige. They have all different sorts of scents. This one is pear, but I also love grapefruit. I need to buy the berry one and the peach one, but those are the only two I have and I love those. But if you want a little bit of color on the lips, but you still want it to be fuss-free and really easy to reapply and something that's not gonna get dry or cracked or crusty on the lips if you're outside, these NARS tinted lip oils are everything. I love them. These two shades are a little bit brighter and I felt like it'd be fun to play with them for today. I might do this purple one. I know it looks so scary in the bottle, but it's not. It's actually very wearable. So I'm gonna try this one. This one's called Disco Infernal. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to the lips. This feels like a lip balm. It goes on so beautifully and then it kind of just tints your lips just a little bit. But yeah, they're not sticky at all. They're super hydrating, but it leaves you looking and feeling a little bit more glamorous. I feel like that shade works beautifully with the blush we have on. Speaking of blush, I'm actually gonna add just a little bit more. We're gonna assess the situation and I'm gonna pop on a little bit more of that berry toned blush. I'm just gonna pinch the sponge and I'm gonna stamp a bit of blush right here on the eyes just to kind of try to pull the entire look together. Okay, I feel like pretty good on bronzer as I add more. What's new? Okay, I really love how my face feels. I feel like I'm not wearing any makeup at all, but it looks really glam and it looks like I tried. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the face with this right here. This is amazing. Again, this is another hyaluronic acid product. It's from ColourPop. It's the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist, and I just recently featured this in my favorites video last month. It's incredible. I took this to Mexico with me and I got my friends hooked on it as well. It's so good. I'm gonna go ahead and spray the entire face with this. And then I'm gonna set the brows and we'll be done. The mist on this, so good. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna be shy either. But my skin's feeling extra dry today. That was a lot of spray, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm still gonna use my handy fan to kind of dry things off. And then I'm gonna take my sponge and lightly press the setting spray into the skin. And then last but not least, I'm gonna take a bit of clear brow gel. This one is from Hourglass, and I'm just gonna go ahead and brush up the brows and lock them in all day. All right, you guys, so this is the completed look. I absolutely love how this turned out, and I love how it feels on my skin. It's obviously not like a no makeup look. You can obviously tell that I do look a little bit more glam, but it feels like I'm wearing no makeup at all. It just feels like I'm wearing a nice moisturizer and that I have like a lip balm on my lips. So everything's super lightweight, super hydrating. It's gonna keep your skin looking fresh and glowy all day long. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you all enjoyed hearing about my favorite products for wintertime and the types of products that I gravitate toward. Obviously the specific makeup products that I mentioned today are just benchmarks. You can customize it to whatever your preferences are. There's a lot of products out there that are hydrating, so just kind of combine all of your favorite hydrating products for wintertime and see how they wear and see how you like them. But I love how this turned out. I feel like I'm ready to go to a winter party. I feel like my skin looks and feels so smooth and hydrated, and so does my body because of the Frank Body scrubs. Thanks again to Frank Body for partnering with me on this video. Again, you guys should definitely check them out in the description box. I'm not joking when I say I've used these for years now. I think probably since like 2014 or 2015, so many years. It has since been an absolute staple in my routine, and these scrubs are so great for wintertime. Do not neglect the skin on your body this winter. Make sure that you are exfoliated and you feel hydrated, and this is a great little set to pick up if you are wanting to try these scrubs out. So again, the link will be in the description box down below. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button, and if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. I want to know in the comments what your go-to winter product is. It can be a body product, it can be a makeup item. Leave that in the comments down below before you go. I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!